Listing agents, do not accept a 1031 exchange offer until you've taken these 6 steps. Many times agents don't know all of the step-by-step activities that need to be done to properly accept a 1031 exchange offer. Sometimes there are advantages to accepting a 1031 exchange, but there are times when this can go horribly wrong for your seller client. So I'm going to tell you all the things to watch out for, because you do not want to accept a 1031 exchange offer and go under contract with a buyer doing a 1031 exchange until you've done these 6 things. I'm Ali Garcet, or Ali the agent, a realtor with eXp Realty, on track to do over 50 transactions. It's my 2nd year in the business. I'm an investor as well. I own a small portfolio of properties, and realtors throughout the nation have partnered with me because of the support that I provide. We provide checklists for all of our agents, canned emails for our agents to give to their buyer clients, their seller clients, investor clients. We provide one-on-one coaching that's for free. So that way, as soon as they transfer brokerages and partner with me in eXp, they can immediately catapult their business. And guess what? All of this is for free. We are not a team. There are no team splits. You would be joining as a solo agent. There are no desk fees, franchise fees. So if you want to partner with us, all you would be paying to the brokerage is that simple $85 a month. And that gives you eXp's 60 hours of training a week, your own website, a great CRM, and all the resources that I have made for you for free. Today, I'm diving deep into a section that's part of our checklist specifically labeled before accepting a 1031 exchange as a listing agent. The first thing you need to do is find out when that buyer wants to close on the purchase of the house that you're listing. Does the timeline match up with your seller? Is it faster than the seller wanted, or is it further out? If the timeline matches, then great, move on to step 2. The second thing you need to be aware of, in a 1031 exchange, the IRS is allowing the buyer to sell a property and purchase another and defer the taxes on the sale of that property and push it onto the new one. So that means that they needed to have sold a house. Have they sold it? If so, great, move on to step 3. The third thing is you can find out by asking the buyer's agent or the buyer directly, if they called you, who is the 1031 exchange company that they're using? Who is the point of contact? What's their name? What's their phone number? They should have an answer for you. They should have already started this process and should easily be able to tell you who they're working with. Keep in mind, sometimes these companies will have the word title in their name. They're not like a normal title and escrow company of what you're thinking. You'll still be able to use your title company. This 1031 exchange company is a middleman, and they're physically holding on to the funds of that sale as the third party after the buyer sells that property and is getting ready to purchase potentially yours. The fourth thing to do is to call that 1031 exchange company. Call that POC. Don't email. That's going to take too long. You need to know immediately. Call them, introduce yourself as a listing agent, and say, yeah, I just wanted to do my due diligence and verify that Tommy Smith is a client of yours. And they'll say, oh, well, let me look. They'll pull up Tommy's file and say yes. Then you can ask them, how much funds does he have from the sale of that property? They should be able to give you an exact number. And then the second question you're going to ask them is, how many properties has that buyer, Tommy in this case, identified? Then ask them, if there are other properties identified, when is the closing date for those other properties? Because keep in mind, if they end up closing on those properties before yours, they might not end up buying yours. They might be okay with just those, or they might use another property that they identified to purchase that one instead. Then have them send you that form. The 1031 company should have no issue sending you this form. It's going to be over 5 pages long, and it's going to state exactly what date the seller sold their property, showing when their 45 days to identify other properties are, when that ends, and it's going to show 180 days out and let you know exactly what date, no later than, that the buyer needs to close on a property. The second page of the form will usually have the list of properties that the buyer has formally identified as potentially going under contract with. Do not accept the offer until you have seen from the 1031 company that they have formally listed your address as one of the identified properties. Now, number 5, many times the buyer is going to be purchasing multiple properties. It's okay, but if there is more than one property listed on that second page, sometimes there are a lot. If the total number of properties identified add up to more than the money in the pot that the 1031 company has listed on page 1, then you need to contact the buyer's agent or the buyer directly if the buyer's not working with an agent, and ask where the rest of the money is going to come from. If they say they have money in the bank, then excellent, I'll take a proof of funds statement. If they say they're going to be financing it, then talk to that hard money lender or whoever is going to be lending that remainder. At that point, treat this as if it were a normal buyer where you're talking and you're doing your due diligence with that lender. So call that lender, because I hope to God that you're calling these lenders before you accept any offer on any listing that you have, and ask them, do you need to pull the buyer's credit again? If so, when? And if that date is before your estimated close of escrow, are things going to mess up? That's going to be one major red flag. Ask if they're borrowing majority of what they qualified for. Ask them for any red flags that they see that might mess up a deal. As a listing agent, you should always be trying to kill the deal. Where can this go wrong? Where can I poke holes and see where this can go wrong to avoid going back on the market? I do want to say a special note about solar loans. Typically, 1031 exchanges can go very fast. It usually benefits the buyer to close within that 45-day window of identifying, because if for some reason they can't close during that time, then at least they still have some of that time to identify other properties and close on a backup property. But if the sellers have a solar loan, that everything up. Solar companies typically take between 30 to 60 days, sometimes 90 days to transfer a solar loan. So you need to be put on as an authorized user to talk about the solar loan on behalf of your seller clients. You need to make sure that your sellers are getting the paperwork to start the transfer and send it to the buyers. The buyers need to be ready to go to fill it out that same day, because the 30 to 60, sometimes 90-day period starts when the solar company gets the application. All of this to say a fast close is rarely feasible with solar loans unless both parties agree to pay the solar loan off. Lastly, number 6, stay in constant contact with that POC from the 1031 exchange company. Ask every week if there have been any changes. Have they closed on any of the other properties identified? Have there been any other properties identified that you didn't know of before? Because again, that means that the money in that pot has decreased. So then therefore, the financing of the difference has to be higher. The proof of funds statement has to be higher now. And ask that lender if they qualify for that new higher amount. If this helped you, I ask that you share this with an agent who might benefit from this, or comment below just saying thank you. That's what's going to keep me motivated to continue making more of these videos. If you ever want one-on-one assistance about this topic or any other realtor related topic, if you're in my downline, schedule a call with me for free, as you always can. You always have first dibs on my schedule. You can book a call whenever you want. If you're with a different brokerage or are thinking about switching brokerages, set up a free one-on-one Zoom call with me. I'm happy to walk you through your goals, see if we'd be a good fit. And if you are looking for a coaching call, just a coaching call, and you're in a different brokerage, or you are with EXP but not in my downline, click the link below for the coaching call at the lowest price that I'm ever going to be giving out right now. Thanks. Talk soon.